Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Vision, Culture, and Policy. My name is Sabah Khamis, and I'll be your host for this podcast series. In today's episode, we'll be exploring culinary arts in Saudi Arabia. As humans, our relationship with food is resolute. It's more than just nutrition and fuel for function. It's that feeling of eating the first French fry out of a takeout bag. It's the aroma of baked goods coming out of the oven, or maybe a bite from a dish that tastes like home. Like all things culture, cuisine is a getaway to understanding the people, the geography of the land, and the cultural traditions. In the historical context of Saudi cuisine, there are two main factors that constructed the traditional Saudi dishes we know and love today. Local resources and influences by long-standing commercial trade along the coastal and desert caravans, resulting in the adaptation of new ingredients such as rice. Some of the fundamental staples of Saudi cuisine are local grains, meat, vegetables, and fruits. But factoring in the kingdom's vast geographical area, resources differ in abundance and variety from region to region, and culinary influences from neighboring countries, like, for instance, we can find similarities in Eastern Province dishes to Gulf countries, also the southern region with Yemeni dishes. But the most culinary diverse region menu is Al-Hijaz. As we can see, the influences from Asia, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. A lot might think that kabsa is our national dish, but it's not. Jirish is. A central region specialty, jirish is a grain cooked with yogurt and spices and garnished with fried onions. When entering a home in any part of Saudi, prepare yourself for a feast of your life, as the portions are generous and hospitality is incumbent upon us. Many cuisines worldwide have gained global acclaim, with some even meriting designated days like Taco Tuesday or International Pancake Day. However, one might wonder, why hasn't Saudi cuisine secured its spot on the international stage? Well, the global recognition of Saudi cuisine is hindered by several factors. Primarily, the limited presence of Saudi dishes beyond the region restrains world exposure. With relatively few Saudi restaurants internationally, the chances of people worldwide to savor and celebrate Saudi culinary delights are restricted. In the past, the absence of a robust culinary tradition that nurtures and showcases authentic Saudi dishes through skilled local chefs further impedes its visibility and appreciation on a broader scale. But things have taken a turn to the best after establishing the Culinary Arts Commission under the Ministry of Culture, as the commission aims to elevate Saudi cuisine to the global stage and enhance its reputation in the fine dining industry. Through initiatives like the National Cooking Festival and partnerships with culinary academies, the commission works to support and empower Saudi chefs, promote culinary education, and preserve the authenticity of Saudi cuisines while modernizing it for a broader audience. To understand more about this delicious field, we have the privilege of welcoming two esteemed guests who are experts in their fields. She is the co-founder of one of the first Saudi fusion restaurants that have gained acclaim for their unique menu and creative fusion dishes. Joining us today, the co-founder of Takya restaurant, Hadeel Almutawaa. Hadeel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. Thank you for the kind words as well.
Thank you. Hadeel, can you share with us the inspiration behind starting a Saudi fusion cuisine restaurant? Because it's a first, I would say one of the first restaurants, صح?
True. So whether we're going to look at it from a fusion perspective or from a contemporary perspective, yes, it is the first. We've been a pioneer in this area.
Yeah.
And it came by, to be honest, it wasn't planned to, but it just happened. So the idea goes back, I'd say يمكن early 2010, 2012.
Oh, wow, okay.
It sparked at the beginning as, why are the quality of restaurants in Saudi are not up to the level, to the international restaurants? It does not need an expert to look at the behavior of Saudis, especially when they travel.
Yeah.
So we tend to be a bit foodie, and we're critique when it comes to the food and the quality. And we tend to have a very good taste palates as well. So I've noticed that majority of the restaurants at that time in Saudi were more into the upper casual or casual with a very similar food offering. And then a Japanese concept, very well known, came to the market and it changed the whole entire landscape. And they did a bold move, to be honest. And I've always admired that because it needs guts to invest that much and change the entire way the food and beverage scene in Saudi. So I started thinking of, it was a bit frustrating for me that whenever you want to have a proper food, you will have a limitation with the options in the market. And if I'll talk about myself, I enjoy food and I enjoy experimenting in flavors as well. So I was looking at the market and looking at what are the missing cuisines. Let's say. At that time, it was the missing cuisines. And at that specific time, and now I'm talking تقريبا على 2014, majority of the restaurants were either Saudi kitchens, which is basically, when we say a Saudi kitchen, it's not a restaurant as much as it's a place where you order. It's
more of maybe like a dive-in diner. That's the closest thing I'd say to it.
100%. And aside of that, people do not usually eat Saudi food outside of their house. So it's a place where you order a full feast if you have a gathering or so. Aside of that, there was a bit of Indian cuisines, restaurants, Italian and a Japanese, and a full stop, that would be basically the landscape of F&B in Riyadh specifically. So I was interested in different things, and I started thinking of introducing a new concept to the market. And to be honest, the focus at that time was more into, rather than looking at a country, I was looking at a region. So I was looking at North African food. I believe they have a great diversity and they do manipulate flavors in a very interesting way. And I was looking at South American food as well. And the last and let's say the safer was the South European. So looking more at the Mediterranean aspect. And that was the focus. So the focus was, let me establish a restaurant. I need to build a restaurant. I need to know what do I need. And then I'll choose a cuisine. And then we started doing the financials. And then finally we arrived to a point where we started interviewing chefs to know exactly which direction we're going. So as I said, the landscape was a bit, we're looking at the world. So I started interviewing chefs from all over the world, the globe. And I've noticed something very similar. So I've interviewed around 20 chefs at that time. Each time you go into an interview with a chef, the first thing that they would do is brag about their national food and talk about it. And then they start talking about their international experience. And, just to be engaging in that conversation, I've always asked about, what do you know about Saudi food? And surprisingly, no one knows anything about Saudi food.
Are you really surprised?
I was, to me, it was a shock, صراحة.
As chefs?
Well, I thought that if you're so passionate and that's your career, and, when you look at Saudi, it's not only Saudi, it's the entire region. So looking at the Gulf as well. So you would expect that people would know something, especially the professionals.
I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, we just said that there was no international acclaim for Saudi food. So I feel like we can't expect people to know what we have if we only do it in our homes. You know what I mean?
That's true. And that's sad as well.
Very.
But again,
it's changing.
It is changing in a very good way. But when you look at, there are a lot of national dishes that are only cooked at home, but it had reached that international status. You know, you would notice it.
Yeah.
So people associate Saudi with camels, and which is a very small chip of our food, or yani, close
our
to
culture.
None. Yeah. And then I thought that, okay, again, Westerns wouldn't know much, Eastern wouldn't know much. And I had interviews with a couple of Arabian chefs who were not from the region. And again, what they know about Saudi food is kabsa, if it is a thing, which in my belief is not a Saudi dish.
It's not.
It is something that I always said that our student scholars managed to move it to different culture because it's the easiest thing to do.
It is.
And you cannot go wrong with kabsa.
Yes.
And that day I couldn't sleep, you know. I felt bad. I felt that I'm a person who's interested in food, and I could call myself a foodie, and I know food from all over the world. And yet I'm talking to professionals who have a career in food and they know nothing about our Saudi food. And at that moment, I've decided that I'm going to do a Saudi restaurant.
Okay.
And my focus at that time was only how could we bridge that gap and make a Saudi cuisine a restaurant-friendly cuisine. And I started the research, to be honest. And then another surprise came up where I've noticed a few weeks down the research that I know nothing about the Saudi food. As a Saudi who have been born, raised in Saudi. All what I know is my tribal food, my regional food, and I know nothing about the other regions' food. And that made me even more intrigued into exploring this more. Now, to be honest, when I started talking to family, friends about this, everyone was thinking that I'm insane, and everyone was saying, if you have extra money that you know not what to do with, give it to us.
You know it's a good idea when they say that. You know it's a good idea.
And then I was like, people, I'm going to do this. 6 months down the road, if it did not work, it's very easy to switch to an easy thing.
Yeah.
Now, that is how the idea of Takya came into the picture. And then I've decided at that point that everything around Takya should be Saudi.
Beautiful.
So interior designer was Saudi, branding was Saudi. Our main chef at that time was Saudi, which was not easy to find. Us as a founder and creator of the concept were Saudi. So we tried as much as possible
to make it
authentic. To make it very authentic.
Yeah.
I focused at that time on the research part of the food. And again, another surprise came to my way is, as I said, I've figured out that what I know is our regional food, but I don't know the other regions' food.
Yeah.
And I started searching for like recipes, and I couldn't find a trustworthy resource for these recipes. I've searched a lot online as well, and I wasn't lucky enough. So the second part of the research came in where I've decided I come with nearly 15 years of an experience. I've worked with multiple companies, and I've established a very phone book with connections. So I started looking at the last name of each Saudi that I know. And I pinned them in the map to know in which region do they belong. And they started helping me to navigate.
Nice.
So basically my phone book became Najdi.
صاب الخميس الدرعية.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's the way it looked. And I started doing some calls and telling them, basically connect me to someone from your circle back in, whether they're in Riyadh and interested in your regional food, or if not, I'm willing to travel to the region.
Oh, okay.
And then we started knocking doors. Now, the hospitality when it comes to that is صراحة heartwarming. يعني, first, you're sharing with you're sharing their family recipes. Second, they are opening their doors to you where you walk into their house. I felt at that moment that I belong to a very big family. It's not only a blood family, it's bigger. People are really, people were just waiting for someone to tell them, what do you cook? I mean, what did your grandma and grandfather used to do? And it's interesting. Again, you talk to, I've spoken to grandmothers and grandfathers as well, who used to give me the recipes in a very basic format. It's
cut the onions, put the
exactly, and then taste it, feel it, smell it, and it started.
It's as you go. It's not nothing specific.
And, when you talk about looking at the measuring tools, so we have finjal in our culture, which means our teacup, or biyala, or finjal, which is our coffee cup. And again, they vary in size. They vary in size depending from where are you buying them. But you still get the things, and we tried the food in their houses, so we know how does it taste. And then we moved everything back to Riyadh and started experimenting at the beginning at our house kitchen.
Okay.
So we started to create the authentic way of doing the dishes. And a lot of the regions, especially when you go more toward the north or the south, people are still very attached in the old way of doing it. So they'll still smoke using the wood with the old style. They'll still have it buried under the ground just to have that flavor.
For the mandi.
Exactly, and so on. But you get a lot of ingredients as well back. Yeah. So we started looking at a way to making it more restaurant friendly. So at that point, we figured out that we need to modernize the way of cooking and make it more suitable, bearing in mind that we should always maintain the flavor. So the flavor was our red flag.
Okay.
And it wasn't as easy as expected. It was a bit harsh. But then next to that, we decided to... the vision started blooming, and
when the vision was blooming, where did the name Takya come from? Because
Takya, so we had a very creative brander with us, and we were discussing a name.
Okay.
So we had so many names, and we were looking at the names from different angles. One of it is a thing that could be pronounced easily, Arabic or English. And another thing, again, after the research, we wanted a word that is used very casually in every region.
Okay, so
so Takya is a very common word that is not only used in the Saudi regions, or it's also used on the Arabian regions as well. And Takya is usually a place where you cannot be unless you're really comfortable.
Okay.
I cannot use the word Takya if I'm not comfortable. It doesn't work.
Yes.
So, and that is the feel that we wanted that place to give. And then we started looking at the calligraphy of it. So we wanted it to look decent in a written way, and we chose it.
Okay.
And it's very, very near to my heart.
Okay, beautiful.
And I think it made Takya also a bit unique, because explaining the word will make you smile.
Yes,
it will make you feel that comfort and everything around.
So you were just telling me the journey of how you started in your home kitchen.
So until that moment, we were focusing on creating authentic dishes, but in a restaurant format.
Okay.
Now
it's pretty hard because the portions of Saudi food are big.
Yes. So it's not only the portions, it's even the way we consume food. We usually, again, we're a tribal in identity, and we usually eat together. We usually share the same dish. So although our culinary diversity is huge, but if it is Salik Day, it's Salik Day. Everyone is having Salik.
Yes.
If it is Mandi Day, it's Mandi Day. Everyone.
Yeah.
So that was a bit frightening to us, that we want to create a very diverse dining experience that has small portions, as you said, restaurant portions, and yet it reflects the culture.
Okay.
Now, until that moment, it was a very basic cycle of converting big portions, as you said, into a la carte concept. And again, looking at the land and our culinary options in Saudi, we're desert by nature, and majority of our dishes lack colors as well. So it's very sentimental to us, and it brings very warmth to our heart. But yet, it is not very pleasing to a foreigner eye, let's say, or an expat, or someone who is not familiar. So if you look at a dish of jirish, as a Saudi, your mouth will water, definitely. But if I showed it to someone else, they will feel it's like an African stew.
Porridge. Or
a porridge that would, I'm not really sure I want to try it. So we decided that we want to beautify these dishes, relying on the ingredients again. And then, as I said, the vision started sparking, and Saudi became a destination where visitors were coming to Saudi. And we started as well asking the questions is how are expats or non-Saudis, how are they perceiving the Saudi food? So majority of the people we questioned were like, it's a one thing time that they would do. So it is not something that they would go back
crave
and back
or
crave it. So at that time we went to he's always an inspiring chef. So we looked at Nobu's story. So basically, if you look at Nobu, so what he done, he was literally crucified in Japan
for what he's
exactly
done.
for his actions. So what he's done basically is modernized or simplified Japanese complicated dishes to suit international flavors, keeping the authenticity of Japanese food.
Beautiful.
And that way, the Japanese dishes, which were restricted to Japan, have managed to travel all around the globe. So we decided to do the same thing. So we looked at it from, we restructured the food in a different way to make sure that it serves international palates and also to ease it on the younger generations, because with the globalization that we're going through, majority of our kids are also looking at the Western food rather than the authentic traditional
chicken
food, and they would feel it's a bit boring. So we wanted to bring it back. We made it a little bit fun, and we made it more experimental. Again, but our criteria was very clear. If you had a bite of any of the dishes, it should take you to the original dish. It will have a different experience, different texture, but you will still have the same exact flavor. Now, Takya as a concept did not take that long. The research phase and creating the menu took us more than a year. Just for us to develop the menu in a way that makes sense and interesting enough. And
so for the menu development, did you guys have experts? Because you said you went from region to region to collect information, to research, to just understand
the food
more. Did you talk to local chefs, or was it local homes and
so at the beginning it was fully moms and dads and grandfathers and grandmothers. The concept of a Saudi chef was not very much perceived in the way it is at the moment. So it was a job that is restricted into certain nationalities, and it would be very difficult for you to find a professional chef, a professional Saudi chef at that time. However, we dived into foodies who cook at home. And they've taken some courses, but they're not a professional chef yet. They're interested in food, they're interested in cooking techniques and so on. And we developed our first version of this. And then moving forward, we felt that it needs a bigger shoe to fill. So we had to hire an international chef who has more than 20 years of experience focusing. I mean, my focus at that time was looking to a person who has gifted eyes when it comes to presentation, and who use cutting edge culinary techniques.
Okay.
Because we've used a lot of molecular gastronomy in doing the menu. And then we took that chef and we went the entire ride with him. So we used to make him try our original dish, the way it is prepared since forever, and then our new takeover. And we played again with him in the lab in order to produce the final result, which went to the restaurant. And then we took it another more round with our, I wish they wouldn't take it offensively, with our guinea pigs at that time, or lab rats.
Okay.
So we started calling for random groups from our friends, different ages, different backgrounds. And we surprised them with the different diversity of the menu.
Did you guys tell them what the dish is supposed to be? Okay, so nothing.
They basically sat around a table, and we had a set of 3 or 4 menus, I'm not sure, and we used to just put them and then get their feedback.
Okay.
And we tuned it a bit more. I think we've done this for more than 400 or 500 different people.
Oof.
The concept was a bit intriguing, and it wasn't always accepted. So
I was just about to ask you, how was the public's reaction to the food?
This group of, let's say, the 500, we called them our ambassador at the beginning, because we used to give them the full journey, and we allowed them moving forward to start inviting people to the restaurant. So when we did the opening, we did not only open our doors. We made sure that someone seated on the table would have the full story, and they will tell the story.
Okay.
So they helped us into passing the understanding. Now we wrote the entire disclaimer on the menus as well, just to make sure that people Saudi food is very sacred, you know. It's a very important aspect, and we label a house if it's a hospitable house or not.
Yes,
depending on the quality of their food, and especially their Saudi food.
and the portions of the food also.
So if you suddenly decided to do the food in a different way, especially older generation will not take it easily. No. And we were aware of that, and that's why we made it this way. Now, at the beginning, things were very okay until we opened our doors fully, and we started getting a bit of rejection. We tried as much as possible just to explain the idea. And it took a quite long time. Okay, now we had a very lucky chance as well, which helped us to expose the idea. So there was a huge gala dinner under...
I attended the gala dinner.
So it was under the king, and it was in Diriyah as well. And we were approached, and it was such a great opportunity for us, to be honest. And I've always said we were sitting in a room with giants in the catering business who have been doing this for the past 20 years. And we come with few months of experience. And
so having to do a gala dinner for the king and the crown prince, and you've just opened your doors for 6 months?
Actually, it was even less.
Wow.
Yeah. It was...
The pressure was on.
No, it was one...
pressure cooker.
It was a pressure cooker.
Yes, pressure cooker.
The pressure of opening a restaurant is something that is way more stressful than I ever thought. You know, you're dealing with live ingredients, you're dealing with temperature, preparation, quality assurance. It's a lab. And I mean, the first month of opening the restaurant, we used to barely have any sleep, just anticipating that day and how will it run. Because I've always said, you know, a restaurant is a beehive, where if one bee misbehaved, the entire experience is going to be doomed. And if everyone did their part right, then it's going to be a joyful experience.
Beautiful.
So it's from the way you greet, to the way you seat, to the time they get the food, to the smell they're smelling, the temperature of the food, the smile on the waiters' faces, the music they're listening to. It's a full experience.
Yes.
So we were learning all about these. I've always enjoyed it as a guest or a customer, but I've never thought the amount of effort
the
placed,
intricate details
exactly,
about
in order to get it
yeah.
all together. And then we got that opportunity, and it was we didn't have a choice to say no. Having that opportunity at that time
absolutely
is something that
Yalla.
yes. So it took us in a very interesting round.
Yeah.
We didn't have any sleep again. We helped in creating the menu, and we've learned a lot about catering, because doing a catering event is totally different than running a restaurant again.
Absolutely.
And doing it for 700 guests at once is not a joke as well. So we had a PhD in catering in just a few weeks.
Mashallah, congratulations.
And that was amazing for the brand and for the concept, because everything we placed that day on the table was Saudi, but with a twist.
Yes.
And people accepted it.
Okay.
And the media covered it well. So people starting understanding where are we coming from. Now, if you asked me about it, I would say I look at people from regional perspective. The Western region loved the idea. The Eastern region was not fully on board, but they were okay with it.
Okay.
Central region were very rigid.
Okay.
Very rigid, and it's where we are located. The Southern enjoyed the idea. I mean, the Southern are very interesting, and they really wanted their food to travel across borders, and they enjoyed the idea that we made it easier to travel. So we did not find a lot of fire back from them. And step by step, we started pivoting and bridging that gap.
Interesting.
Now, as a movement, now things have changed in the landscape, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
A lot of even cloud kitchens have joined that focus, and they're all looking at how could we create Saudi food in a different way.
Yeah.
The Culinary Commission came into the picture later as well, and they were a great supportee, because they keep holding events into how could we modernize, could we preserve the Saudi food, how could we modernize it, and how could we help the Saudi flavors to travel as well.
When you guys were establishing the recipes and creating the menu, was it at the time before or after the culinary arts? Before. Yeah. Okay, so let's say today, now, you want to create a new menu. And
it's much easier now.
Because
now there is a full directories under the Culinary Commission, where you could find, there are books, they've published books, they've done a great job, and we also was part of some of the regional research, where they've sent full teams just to preserve the Saudi recipes and accompany it with the history of each recipe.
Okay.
So now you have full access to these information. So if you're interested about a dish, you would find when was it created roughly, how was it created, how did it evolve, different recipes into creating it.
And this is all on their website?
Yes, majority of it is in their website. Okay. And
beautiful.
And they're publishing beautiful books, and it's in multiple languages, carrying this messaging. So we had the chance as well to contribute in one of the regions as well, and it was very interesting seeing a lot of people who have one common interest, which is the love of food, and the love of Saudi food, and the love of preserving the Saudi food. They've went to very rural area as well, in the middle of nowhere, just to sit with people's in tents at this time to capture these recipes. So hats off for the effort they're placing in order to just collect that. Because honestly speaking, when I was doing my very small research, I had the fear of distinct, I felt that this treasure might go to an end if no one focused the light on.
Yes.
Especially with the globalization, with the new generations, all looking at very simple dishes that could be preserved. And on the other hand, having insisting into preparing the dishes in the very old way that our ancestors used to do, which is time consuming and effort consuming. Some of the Saudi dishes would take you up to 8 hours just to prepare, which the recipe for it to distinct.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, now I think there is a great effort placed just to.
I understand when you say the research is very hard because there is no documentation. There is no accurate documentation about, honestly, everything about culture. And this is something that I have struggled with in my dissertation, because I had to find a reliable resource that I can reference, and with opening and with opening a restaurant, with creating a whole experience, from the aesthetic to the food to the whole thing, it's very, very hard.
So
and to be true and genuine to the reality of it.
Absolutely. If I would look at myself 8 years ago versus me now, I thought that I'm Saudi. I thought that I understand Saudi culture. I thought that I understand the diversity in this country. But after that experience I had with that restaurant, I've realized that what I know about Saudi is nothing. And it goes further. No, it's not only the food. It's very rich. It's very diverse. The accents are interesting. The way people greet, the way people perceive, the way people talk about their regional culture is very interesting. The way people dress is different. The architectural, let's say, stamp of each region is different. So it's even the scent of the homes are different. And again, you learn, it's an ongoing journey. Every time you visit a new city in Riyadh, in Saudi, you would learn something new about their culture.
Yeah.
So we're, again, and that's due of us being tribes. So we come from multiple tribes. We're 35 million. It's not a huge number, but the amount of diversity in this 35 million you look at it as a full continent. And it goes in every level. Saudi coffee is one of that things. So you would find more than 20 recipes of our national coffee beverage. And again, it's different
in each and every region.
In each and every region as a high level. And then within the region, you would find it also different depending on which city it's being served. And it's interesting. And if I get you like 7 kinds of Saudi coffee and I ask you to taste them and you start understanding the difference between them, that's an experience. It's enriching. And it shows you, again, how rich is this culture.
Absolutely. So you try to capture, like when you said, when you taste something off of your menu, it takes you back to the main dish.
Yes.
What is one dish that you would say that perfectly captures the essence of Saudi food?
Now all the dishes, again, now developing a menu.
Tell me your favorite. Tell me your favorite.
They're all my babies. I've always said that. So I don't have a favorite. I've been introduced to a lot of the dishes that I had no clue they exist. And they all go back. Let's say if you tried the Hasawi rice, it will take you back to the original Hasawi rice. And we've tried it in the Eastern Province. We had a pop-up, and I was very focused into making sure that majority of the dishes served in that pop-up are related to the Eastern region. And we used to capture their first, I look at it always from two sides.
Mm-hmm.
Are the plates coming back empty or not?
Okay.
And that is very important. And then we go in person and have a casual talk with them just to understand. As I told you, it became more a mission to me, something that I really want to know.
Okay.
So they all have that. All Takya dishes are capturing the original flavors. There is no doubt. Okay. However,
okay,
designing a menu and trying to have a proper courses menu was a challenge. Now, our culture is rich, true, but our crops are not that rich, and we're limited with very few ingredients. And also, when you look at the texture of majority of the food, we again,
depending on the geographical location also.
Not only the geographic, it's also, for so long, Saudi was not as rich as it's now. So people were happy to have something to eat.
Yeah.
So it was not a luxury to have something for you to eat. So that was a challenge for us to create an appetizer, a salad, a first course, a second course, and a dessert.
Yeah.
Because the Saudi food comes from a background where it's good for you to have something to eat and fill your tummy. It tend to be a bit fatty food and full of carbs.
Yeah.
There is very minimal access to protein as well, because to the limitation of protein at that time. And dessert were basically dates, honey in some regions, and whatever access to fruits they used to have.
Okay.
And again, it was not consumed as a dessert. It was consumed as a main course, but in a sweet way. So designing it made us play a bit with some of the dishes.
Okay.
But again, I assure you. So we have a famous dish in the menu, which is called mathlutha.
I tried it. So, it's really good.
So mathlutha is, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So mathlutha is usually a festive dish. It is composed, it's called mathlutha, which comes from...
the word thalatha, which is three.
Which is three.
Yeah, Trinity. Yeah.
Trinity, exactly. And it's that because it's usually three different dishes, which is jarish, and then it's not margouk, it's more garsan.
Garsan, sorry, yeah.
Now the difference between margouk and garsan would take us a very interesting spin.
Okay.
So the similarity and differentiator between the Saudi dishes is very minimal to an external eye, but to an internal eye, it makes a big, huge difference.
Yeah.
You know, it's and usually it's festive because each one of these dishes would take you forever to cook and prepare. And then they layer them on top of each other. But again, presentation-wise, it's not that appealing. And there is zero texture. So everything is cooked until it's very soft and easy to chew and eat. So what we did is we created it in a bowl format. We kept the same ingredients. We kept the same flavors. We played with the texture. We played with the cooking methodology.
Okay.
Yet, if you had a bite blindfolded, you would say that it's mathlutha, but it has a different texture.
Okay.
So that is how we do it.
So it's crunchy from the outside and it's gooey from the inside, just like a
arancini.
Arancini.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Interesting. Okay. You told me what kind of feedback. So you said the Eastern province loved it. The South were very amazed.
Now again, if you look at the South, the South to me is very interesting. Southern region are by far the biggest region, or the biggest fans of mixing sweet and
sour
and savory or sour in their food. And usually this is not accepted whatsoever in the central region. So they helped us a lot in elevating the dishes and having that.
Because also you were benchmarking Northern Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
So to me, I still have a lot to do into exploring the southern dishes. I believe they have a very, very rich culture.
Yeah.
And very unique as well. Very unique, I mean, on a global scale, the way they do their food. Now, the Western region are the most diverse among all, and that goes to so many reasons. One of them is they're being next to the shore, they're in the pilgrimage line, and so many things. But that diverse culture made it very easy for them to accept anything different, and they would enjoy it. And again, I think they've started that thing long time ago in their houses. So I think they've already had their own spin of modernizing a lot of the Saudi dishes in their houses.
Okay.
So there was not a they were not a challenge to us. But again, yes, the central was very interesting.
Okay, interesting. So in what ways do you see Saudi cuisine evolving, both locally and internationally? Because like we said, there isn't much presence of Saudi cuisine internationally. And that's due to multiple reasons, honestly. It's just not, I can't pinpoint one. But
so during this journey, I've met a lot of ambassadors, Saudi ambassadors, and they've always, they've loved the idea, and they've always said that we missed this in the regions where we used to be an ambassador, because we used to host a lot of feasts and a lot of gatherings, but it is not easy to serve Saudi food in that scale and in that region of the world, whatever it is, east or west. And the reason behind this is because for so long we were so restricted in the way this food is consumed and prepared. Now, what I've been trying to say for so long, thobe, a Saudi thobe, the garment which the men wear, has been there for the past 200-300 years. And it has modernized in so many ways, the way the pockets are placed, the way the sleeves are done, the way the collar is done. And it does not make it less thobe. It makes it more convenient for today. And that's why it's carrying until now. We're all wearing Saudi abayas, which is, again, the cape which females wear in Saudi. And again, it is something that has been in this culture and in this region of the world for hundreds of years, in Saudi, at least for the last 70, 80 years. And you know what an old Saudi was? A piece of fabric that was thrown on top of your head. Today, you have a mass production and variety and colors. And again, it does not make it less abaya. It still represents the essence of it. So, is the Saudi dish capable of traveling? Yes. What was the barrier? The rigidness. When you are very preserved about something, you cannot make it travel.
Agreed.
The second thing is access to ingredients. So, as I said, majority of the food that we eat in our house are coming from our land, which is a very unique land that is not available in other. So, the brand that we have, which is, let's say, or the barley that we have in Saudi, which we make the jarish from, is a bit different in nature than the one you would get in the States or in Europe. So if you cook it the same way, it will not give you the same result.
Okay.
So it goes back as well for exporting. It's either you export the ingredients or you modernize the way, looking at the international experts and whatever is available on international
grounds,
and then adjusting the recipe in a way that it makes sense.
Okay.
How do foreigners or non-Saudis perceive Saudi food? So I believe in the old days when we used to feast and do the gathering at homes and we bring the dhabiha, which is, they felt that it is a very heavy, complicated dish to eat, but they enjoyed it.
Okay.
Now, when we started doing the modernization aspect, and as I said, it was to bridge the gap as well in the market and to bridge the gap between the West and the East. We tried to make the food as healthy as possible as well in terms of reducing fatty items and so on. And again, due to the nature of the land and access to food at very all times, people used to have very fatty dishes so that it could stay in their body for long.
For the longest time possible,
yeah. Better energy. So if you look at the anthropology of it, nowadays you don't need it. So why are we still using that heavy ghee to produce? We could still mimic the flavor with healthy options. So that is
fair enough.
That is another thing that made things easier. Explaining the story behind the food made non-Saudis love the culture. And the feedback we're getting from non-Saudis whenever we have them in the restaurant is magnificent. So my message is, I love preserving the authentic way of doing things. And I believe, and I'm a big advocate of it.
Okay.
And whenever I cook Saudi food at home, I make sure that it is done in the very, in the same exact way my mom used to do it, which she learned from her grandmother. And it's a thing that I don't want to go away. However, with the rhythm of today, with the speedy time and having multiple things to do, we need to have an alternative to preserve these recipes in an express way. So we need to do it in an express way. And again, if we want this dishes to travel outside of the boundaries, we need to be proud about it. Whenever I travel, I should be able to do it in a very small apartment and serve it to my friends. An ambassador should not find it difficult to serve to their guests. And once we crack that, I don't see a reason why a biryani is in a restaurant, in a hotel menu, and not a Saudi dish, a margoug or a jirish.
Yes.
I believe that we have in flavor much, much more than what other international dishes that are in, let's say, hotel menus.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Can you tell me about, because I saw this and I was surprised, honestly, the dates mojito. How did that come to life? How did that happen?
So it's, again, within the full cycle of creating the menu. And as I said, it became, I was obsessed with everything. So I was obsessed with the fragrance that people would smell and everything. And then we came to a point where we were looking, as much as we looked at the appetizers and the salads and everything, we were looking at the beverages menu. And at that moment, the Saudi coffee was my focus. You know, I was like, I told you earlier that there are more than 20 ways of doing Saudi coffee. It all consists of the same thing. But the beautiful thing about Saudi is the use of spices. And the other thing is, within the research that we've done, we came to know that there is a very interesting, different, let's say, fruits that are considered Saudi, and they've been grown in this land for so long. So what we did, we wanted to have the regional landscape as well in the beverages. So we started looking at each region, what are they known for in terms of crops, again, in terms of spices, and we started playing with them in order to create beverages that says a story. And as an extra step, we started naming these beverages with Saudi poems. So we took a small part, or either the titles of these poems or a small part, just to give them that unique feel and explain their flavors. So you from listening to the name of the beverage, you will have an understanding of what you're indulging.
About the taste,
and that the taste will come from the region itself. And we've highlighted that in the menu. So we have Najd Breeze, which is one of...
Hale? Is there Hale?
Yeah, there is Hale, and there is also Khuzama, which is
lavender.
Lavender.
But what is Hale in English? I forgot.
Cardamom.
Cardamom, yes.
So the idea is Riyadh is called Riyadh because of lavender, because it's a hill where it, at a certain seasons, it becomes purple because of the lavender. Yet, if you ask Saudis, they wouldn't know that. And gladly and happily, we've changed our protocol carpets lately to the lavender color, to the purple, to the lavender color, just to reflect that. So at that time, again, it was earlier before anything, I wanted to highlight the importance of lavender. Lavender as an herb or as a flower is picking an interest internationally. And we act cool when we go and have a lavender latte or whenever we travel. It is part of your culture. So embrace it. So that was the idea behind it. And then we got it a name that reflects this as well. And so go with the rest of the beverages. So it was either focusing on the fruit or a spice, and then we composed the drinks the way international mocktails are composed. So it's similar to the fragrance of a perfume. So you have a base flavor, you have a fragrant flavor, and then you compose that beverage, which gives you the full experience.
Oh, okay. Very interesting.
Well, culinary is very interesting.
It is very interesting, and honestly, I'm sure it took a lot. Yani, as much as you can tell us that you did research about this, I feel like it's even more and more. And I absolutely understand how hard it is and how beautiful your journey was in exploring and understanding. Like, because you said, I thought I was Saudi up until I got to see.
True.
And I feel like we're all, as Saudis, going through this cultural renaissance right now. And we're just realizing so much beauty and of our heritage, our culture, our land. It's,
True. And also, I think to mention is the team we've been working with, especially before opening, we're all Saudis and they've all shared the same interests. So there was, what's so unique about Takya is the amount of emotions associated with the brand. So when you look at, as I said, when we were talking about the name and the way we designed it, we were very careful to reflect the culture. When we were looking at the interior of the restaurant, and again, working with Saudi interiors, we were very careful into reflecting the culture in a very modern way. We didn't want to do it the tacky way. There are a lot of places where you keep everything as it is.
Yes.
Let's move it to the next generation for people to understand it, to love it, and to know that you do not need to be 100% Western to be cool. You still could be 100% Saudi. You still could embrace and brag about your culture, and you could modernize your culture for people to understand it as well.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Hadeel, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for, it was just, it's like a lecture. I learned everything, honestly. It was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. Thank you for having me, and I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. He's a chef and a Saudi cuisine enthusiast. He has had numerous trials in creating Saudi fusion dishes, one of which surprised me so much, the Mandi Eclair.
Yes.
Joining us today, Chef Abdulrahman Alorayfij. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Abdulrahman, can you tell me, or should I call you Chef Abdulrahman?
No, Abdulrahman.
Okay. Abdulrahman, can you tell us a little bit about your background, what inspired you to pursue a career in culinary arts and particularly fusion cuisine?
Okay. First, I studied in King Saud University. I have master's degree in urban design. I studied for like 7-8 years through bachelor and master's.
Okay.
And for 8 years, I studied design thinking as a core for each project in each semester. So I can say I'm a master in design thinking.
Okay.
But I think my background in cooking in general, it started in high school. I liked cooking because I love food. I love eating.
Okay,
so I started from there. And it grew with me through college when I tried a certain burger.
Okay.
I was bored that day. I went to eat something and I found a burger joint called, I think, Burger 777. Yes. And they have special burger. I haven't seen it before. It's a juicy Lucy. It's a cheese stuffed burger.
Okay.
So I tried it and I was surprised because it's
not like anything you've tried before.
And it's and I had like how I say it. I was excited. I was happy because I wanted to know how they did it.
Okay.
First thing I did was to search on it on YouTube, on the internet in general, and I started from there my journey to learning how to cook. So YouTube was and still my number one teacher.
Okay.
I taught myself everything I know until this moment.
Okay, so it's everything from A to Z is self-taught.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. MashaAllah.
Of course, I had different experiences. So first, I was just only copying other recipes to understand, analyze how they did it, how it's work, how can I use different tools, different ingredients, and also after I got my bachelor's and I started a small business making granola and sell it to my families, to my family members. But it lasts for less than a year, and I got my first job, and also I started my master degree. Yes.
Yeah. So you got busy and you left the business alone, and okay.
But I continued to watch and learn about cooking. It was like my daily routine.
Okay, so
I need to see, to watch, to listen, to read anything about cooking and food every day. Even so, if it's the same content, but every time I try to focus on a different element to learn a different thing.
So let's say you learned from YouTube, and then what kind of videos did you watch at the time? And was it a specific cuisine that you liked and wanted to learn more about? Because your specialty is Saudi cuisine. Or was the Saudi cuisine something that you've learned from your household and then you merged the two worlds together?
Not at first. I was searching for like 101 kitchen, how to make different things, how to cut, how to use different tools. So it was basics. Surprisingly, I don't like traditional Saudi food that much.
Okay.
I like certain foods like jarish, warkook, the Najdi's food, because I'm from Riyadh.
Okay.
But I loved Saudi cuisine because I know we have a lot of things we don't know about as a Saudis.
Yes.
Because no one talking about it.
Truly.
Why is that? I don't know, but it's something like every family have its own tradition, own tips and tricks on how making
each and every household has its own recipe, or they could twist to a certain recipe. Yeah.
Yes, I specialize in fusion Saudi cuisine, as I told you, because we have
much.
We have treasure. Yeah, and if each region not only have their own like unique ingredients, but also their unique techniques and tips and methods and things we could not learn it.
Yeah.
So that's what
intrigued you.
Intrigued me and motivate me. Yeah, that's what motivated me to learn more about not only the food.
Yeah.
But everything, you know, the plates, the dishes, the how they make the dalla, niger, everything, it's connected.
Okay.
So
you're a researcher at heart.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, what are the local produce in each region in Saudi Arabia, and what does each region is known for? Culinary Art Commission did a great job and still doing a great job to spread the knowledge about Saudi cuisine. Yeah.
For example, we have Hasawi rice, the red grains. We have a jarish or spelt in Najd in Riyadh.
Yeah.
We have several hundreds of types of dates around the kingdom. So there is a lot. Okay, we can, I can express how much we respect our environment by showing that we have a palm tree in our country emblem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
exactly.
Yeah. This is one example, but of course, every region have its own ingredients. Like, for example, in the eastern region, they have also the lime or the Hasawi lime.
Okay.
They have worked with it for 100 years. They produced many products from Jimid, which is the extract of lime juice, through what they call lumi mshammas. It's like a sauce for their soups in Ramadan.
Okay. This is the
this is the dried lime. It's a dried lime.
But this is not lumi also?
Yeah. The name is different from place to place.
Yeah.
But they use this type of lime in Qatif mostly, not in Ahsa.
Okay.
In Ahsa they use the fresh ones more.
All right.
For example, you have a Taif rose.
Yes.
They use it in Subia. They use it for not only food-related products, also for beauty-related products. So for face wash, for perfumes, and all that.
Yeah.
Used to have a lot of grains.
Okay.
Spelt or jirish is one of them.
Yeah.
Wheat is one of them. Also, we have a variety of fruits through Hanifa Valley, from Hraimla until Al-Harik or Al-Hata. We used to grow peaches, apricots, citruses. We also grew red grapes.
Wow.
Yeah, numerous types of berries. So it was because like 300 or 400 years ago, we have the environment was
different.
Yeah, it was better. They had a better environment. Yes.
You just told me about the Hasawi rice.
Yeah.
What's so special about it? Because when I wanted to buy this, someone told me that it's super rare. Why is it rare?
I didn't study enough about Al-Ahsa region, but what I know that it's need a lot of water and a special environment to grow. So that's why it's expensive and almost rare. And in Jazan, we know they have the best coffee beans. They have mangoes and bananas. Have more than 30 kinds of corn.
Okay.
They also have cacao trees, yes, and I think they now trying to grow vanilla beans.
Wow.
Because they're close from the tropical countries.
Sure. Okay.
So there is a lot of things nobody's know or search about. We have samh. Did you hear about it before? Samh, it's a wild plant.
Okay.
It's a type of flower. Grows only in Pseta. Pseta, it's a place in Al Jawf region, northern of Saudi. So Al Jawf, there's famous for their olives and also for the samh. Samh, it's like a dessert. It's like it's like the dessert truffle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's grow only after the rain, and they harvest it, process it by clean it, dry it, and toast it. So it's like a cacao powder. Have a nutty smell.
What do they use it with?
They use it in all kind of traditional dishes in Al Jawf. Actually, the official dish of Al Jawf is a bakila.
Okay.
It's look like it's like mhalla here.
Okay.
So they cook the samh with dates and salmon or ghee, and it's like a bakila. It's like
does it taste truffly?
No. It's not not like the taste of truffle.
Okay.
It's just the same process. It's grow after the rain.
Okay, so it grows like the truffle, but it's not.
Yeah,
okay.
No. It smells nutty. It's taste earthy. It's strong flour. Also have a high % of protein, so it's great for artisanal breads like sourdough.
Okay. how do you incorporate indigenous ingredients in Saudi Arabia into your dishes? And what makes these ingredients unique and special in your cooking?
Every ingredient is unique. If you saw it as unique, it depends on how you vision the food or the design you are making. For me, it depends on every dish or every design.
Okay.
Because I have different goals, different methods, techniques, different schools to learn about this ingredient. But when I work with any ingredient, first thing I search a lot about I search a lot about it. I read every recipe, every cuisine that use it, and how I can reuse it or redesign it into my dish.
Okay. What is something that you think was maybe the easiest one to work with?
Easiest
Dates.
ingredient,
dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dates, because it's we know a lot about dates.
Yeah.
So it's easy to use this information to make a lot of things. But and that's a problem with our local ingredients. There is nothing about it, nothing about the nutrition, the historical uses.
We don't have information.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why the Culinary Arts Commission working for like 4 years to I think they're gathering a lot of information about guidelines for each region.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for them.
Inshallah. I think you're going to create more and more recipes with this information.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I have some examples about for what I did for each ingredient. I was, of course,
you
built.
told us about the...
jarish.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, jarish, it's a savory dish. It's a main dish. So we cook it in two ways. It's a white or red.
Yes.
Red in eastern region and white here in Najd in central and northern region. We cook it with milk and we put it the msammana, the kishna, all that. But I love how I can flip everything upside down.
Okay.
When I work, how I say fudul.
Curiosity
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I love to make the people curious about what I will make.
In what ways do you think fusion cuisine can help in promoting and preserving Saudi culture, and like particularly through culinary traditions?
Okay. Fusion cuisine, it's different from each chef. So it depends on what you want to do or why you chose that to be a fusion culinary chef. For me, I like our culture a lot, so I want to emphasize this culture. That's my goal. So how do I can preserve this culture? It's by studying it truly.
Okay.
We see a lot of fusion food here, and it's like you can't connect with it. It's like that's something weird happened. That's because I think, from my opinion, they didn't study it enough. You need to ask, to read, to see what makes this dish a dish.
Yes, and it's very hard with specifically our cuisine, because it's not something that, let's say, it's not a pizza and you could add toppings to it to change it.
Yes, it's
not.
It's not a white canvas.
Exactly.
But how I can do it? It's through our five senses. Our five senses. It's the middle language between us and our culture.
Yes.
It's how we translate our selves. So I try to translate every dish through these five senses. What it looks like, what it tastes like, what it smells like, what it feel like. So if you can understand why the people like and love and connect with this dish, you can't recreate it. So for some dishes, we love it because it looks certain way.
Yeah.
And some dishes we like it because it tastes certain way. So you need to put effort into studying it first before you just fusion
Try
anything.
it. Yes, yeah. Okay. before I ask you this question, do you want to show us what you got? So I can ask you the question and you can tell us.
Of course.
If you could tell us how you can walk us through the process of experimenting with new ingredients, with flavors, with unique dishes, and that represent both Saudi culture and your creative vision. So I feel like what you're gonna give us is depicts exactly what we want.
First, I like to work with dessert a lot more than any other sort of dish.
Okay.
Because I have a sweet tooth, so.
Okay.
But here can.
Thank you. This is ice cream.
Yes. So ice cream, because we are in summer now, I love to work with ice cream.
Interesting.
Why? Because it's a white canvas.
It is.
Yeah. You can put any flavors you want in the ice cream.
Do you want to tell me the flavor, or do you want me to try it?
Try it before and tell me.
Okay.
And I will explain to you.
But this is not going to be jirish.
No. But yeah, it could be.
But okay, but it's not.
No.
Okay. Bismillah. I know this.
No, you don't.
Wallah,
I don't
know
think
this.
so.
No?
No.
Okay, Abud, can you try this?
Yeah. I have more spoons.
He needs to try this. Okay. Try it. Tell me what you think this is. شوي كان حلاوة بقرة.
Yes.
صح؟
Like في طعم كراميل.
أيوة. في.
Yes.
What is this?
It have like a caramel note, but it's not because it's smoked. It's called I think Radifa. Radifa?
Oh.
Yes. I will just check again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. The flavoring ingredient was Radifa. Radifa, it's a type of ghee.
Yeah. I want to try this again.
Yeah. In Asir, I think, they make Radifa. How they make it? By mixing butter or ghee with flour.
It's giving me also butternut squash.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will tell you why. But because the milk solids and the butter, it's caramelized and cooked through the process. So it's either butter or ghee with flour or milk or yogurt or liquid yogurt, which we call laban.
Yeah.
So they mix it all and they put marrow, which a stone.
Yeah.
They use it in cooking. They put in the fire and then smoke it or throw it in the mixture to give a unique smoke aroma and taste.
Okay. I want to try the other one. I'm intrigued.
The other one.
Don't tell me it.
Okay.
Let me try it first.
It's the most. How I say that?
Is this pistachio?
No.
Wait.
It's not.
This is just
this is an ingredient. I think you saw it before in my page, but we have it in each house in Saudi Arabia.
We have it in each house.
Yeah, almost.
طيب يلا, I'll try. I'll tell you.
It's got hot. My bad.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Hale.
No. How?
What's it called? لا مو بهيل.
No.
What is it?
Okay.
With the coffee.
Yeah. No. It's a product. It's not an ingredient. It's a same Radifa. It's a product. It's a
matcha. شاي أخضر.
It's look like a matcha, but I will tell you what is it. It's a product made by a local company called date oil. I think it's in Ahsa. They make numerous products of palm trees and dates itself. So they make like oil from date seeds and all that. One of their products, it's we call saf. Yeah, it's a palm branch.
No way.
Yeah.
So I just had this the first time in my life.
Yeah, they made it as a replacement for the matcha. It's a genius idea. This is why I love these companies. I search for them because they put a lot of work in innovation on how to
you
get.
need to try this.
And to get sustainable ideas. it's a genius idea.
It's a palm branch.
It's
Yeah.
a palm branch.
I also have. I did. You see, it's a matcha. Yeah.
Exactly. It's matcha
Yeah.
minus the taste of henna.
Yeah. Some people say it's like sidr or henna. Yeah. It's a
Wow.
date branch. Palm branch.
Wow. I love this. This is really good. This is very creative.
And they still until now I think there are what's it called
سعف النخل. Who would have thought?
قاعدين حتى الان قاعدين يعني يعدلون يعني يعدلون فيه. لان اذكر اول ما شريته كان مو زي المره اللي شريته اخر مره، فكان في تحسين في improvement مع الوقت.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like both of them. I want to try this again. Because
I have a third one. It's,
you have a third one.
Yeah, it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
For you, if you have to, if you want to put it like in the freezer. Something.
This is giving me very. It's very soft and creamy and.
I had another ice cream. I didn't finish it in time. I supposed to bring it today. It's sesame. Sesame. Did you know we grow sesame in Ahsa
Really?
and in the southern region in Asir and Jazan.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what I did is to smoke the sesame with marh.
The same stone that you told us.
No, that's maro. Marh.
Okay.
Marh. It's a wild plant. Grow. I think it's in the valleys. They use it to smoke hanid, the meat.
Yeah.
So I smoked the sesame with it and made an ice cream. So marh, we use it only for meat, for the meat or chicken. Yeah, but I smoked it with for the dessert, for the ice cream.
Okay.
Yes.
This is great. I can't even stop eating now. Okay.
And you can smell that. It's
Yes,
like unique like caramelization. I can't even explain or express how I love it.
It's I mean, I don't blame you. It's amazing. Okay. Wow. يعطيك العافية. أكرمك
الله
الله.
يعافيك. أهلا وسهلا.
Okay. So, what advice would you give a person that is interested in being a chef in Saudi Arabia and exploring fusion? A person that wants to explore fusion cuisine and incorporating indigenous ingredients into their dishes.
I will tell them the same thing I'm telling myself. Be bold.
Okay.
Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Try a lot. There's nothing to lose.
Use سعف النخل.
Yeah, of course.
Do the mandi eclair.
Yeah. Use the right platforms to learn. I like I said, I use it's my daily routine to go to Netflix to see different shows, to go to YouTube, to go to Pinterest, to go to some also for one of the specialized platforms. It's called Gronda for European chefs. It shows a lot of ideas how they redesign the ingredients, and you can apply it on your implement it on your indigenous ingredients. So expand your knowledge. Try to also expand your social network. Meet other chefs, meet other food enthusiasts. Talk a lot about food. Try another food.
Keep on learning.
Keep on learning. And maybe because I'm in Riyadh, there is a lot of new maybe cafes or shops or stores in general have like special one item. You need to go try it, speak with the owner, speak with just
network.
Networking. Yes.
Okay. Quick question: if any of the viewers want to try the ice cream, because I really would encourage everyone to try the ice cream because it's very surprising, because this is a local I don't know, tree.
we can't express how genius, and I love it.
Yes, it is. And even the other one, honestly. So what are they called? So if you want to, you would call them.
As a
Do
name.
you name them? Yeah.
No,
Not yet?
I name it by the ingredients. It's a sa'af ice cream.
Sa'af ice cream.
Yeah, رديف ice cream.
Okay.
And I will later add honeycomb to it because salmon al asal.
There you go.
Yeah,
Wow.
I made it before with regular salmon or regular ghee. It's a smoked ghee, but رديفة is better. So I will make the fake honeycomb. Yeah, and I will put it as a garnish. It will give a crunchy taste and a sweet notes. Also, I don't only
Do ice cream or desserts?
no. I don't only choose like a straightforward ingredients or choices. Like one of the ice creams I'm working on now, it's tin zaytun. It's figs and olives, like in the Quran. Yes.
Okay.
So it's a fig infused ice cream with a dried crumble of olive oil, black olive. Yes.
Interesting.
So I dried the black olives and I ground it as a garnish. Yes. So it's salty and sweet and floral.
I've seen this trend on TikTok where people do it's vanilla ice cream and then they put olive oil and a little bit of salt on top.
Yeah, it's not a.
I was just trying to make a connection.
I have a personal problem with the word trend. Yeah, I don't like trends.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing trends.
Yeah.
But I did olive oil ice cream like a year ago.
Okay.
I did it with Aljof olive oil. And why it's the best choice because the olive oil in our region, in like Saudi or Sham in general, it's have like a floral citrus notes.
So it's like maybe a sorbet.
Yeah, it's good for dessert. It's not like the Italian or Spanish. It's a spicy one.
Okay.
So I made ice cream with it, and also I made a creme brulee with it.
Wow.
So the creme brulee, I made plain creme brulee with vanilla, and I just pour like olive oil, fresh olive. It's give silky, smooth texture.
Where can people try your food?
For now, the food in general, I don't have a place, but I'm glad you asked me. In the end of July this month, I will do like a tasting experience with one of my friends. It's called Mgallat.
Okay.
It will be an ice cream experience. I will make 6 different kinds. رديفة, sa'af.
Okay.
Also tin zaytun, figs and olives. What else? مسمنة.
Okay.
Do you know مسمنة?
No.
Okay.
But I'm sure I'll try it. I'm sure I will love it. But okay, yeah.
I will give
ahead.
just a short brief. مسمنة, it's a mixture of spices. We put it with the onion over the jrish. But we have special type of مسمنة called golden مسمنة ذهبية. They put dried dates and wheat with the mixture of spices.
Okay.
So I put it, infuse it with the ice cream. It's like محلة. It's like spicy ice cream. I also have what's called fusfus. You know fusfus?
I saw this. I saw the fusfus ice cream.
It's I know because we used to eat food in a certain way, a certain type, a certain shape, but it's not fair.
What made you think of doing fusfus ice cream though?
It's a symbol because it's a nut. It's why do you eat almond ice cream or hazelnut?
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's a fair argument.
The same thing.
Okay.
But when you toast it, it's salty. It's like salted caramel. But also I boost it with also a caramel swirl.
Okay.
So it's salty, nutty with caramel. I'm also working with I told you the sesame smoked maraq. Maraq smoked sesame with dark chocolate chips. So yeah, it will be.
Okay, so and you're gonna talk about this on your
experience. Okay. Yes, with Mgallat, inshallah. I think it will be on my account and their account.
All right,
and also it's not official yet, but I have like a small workshop in the National Museum. And I think late September, or late August.
All right.
We will talk about perfumes, the spices and the perfume. It's called perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfumes and spices through. I think it's Silk Road, and
Okay.
and how we will translate it into food, drinks, or somehow.
Yeah.
You know, when you smell perfume, there is a what's called مستويات الروائح, or
Okay, levels of smell,
aromas. Yes.
Aromas.
And we will as I said, translate it into drinks. When you will have also مستويات اللي هي levels. Yeah, when we will have levels of aromas and taste. Do you know, or did you heard about flavor equation?
No.
I know it's late,
but no, it's okay.
I wanted to because when you taste or eat something delicious, how you express it? You will say it's delicious, it's wow, but some words you can't, and you know, when it's delicious to you, it's not delicious to me. So
it differs from person to person.
We need like a middle ground or middle language. So the flavor equation gives you that. How the flavor equation or معادلة نكهة, it's from a book called Flavor Bible. So it says that the flavor equation, it's a taste, which you have 5 tastes. It's a salty, bitter, sweet, umami, and tangy. Plus aromas, what you can smell. Plus the mouthfeel, the physical mouthfeel. It's crunchy, it's gooey. It's also the X factor. The X factor, it's different from dish to dish. Yeah, it's sometimes it's emotional thing. Emotional thing. Sometimes it's شيء اجتماعي أو
it's a social thing.
So, social thing, or like I said, it's a environmental thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the dish itself. So from there you can express the dish in a language that anyone can understand it and be on the same page with you.
Okay, that's great. So if you guys want to try the ice creams, you can follow Abdulrahman on he'll be linked in this video and the reels. Thank you so much, Abdulrahman.
Thank you
for the ice cream. Thank you for the whole experience. Honestly, this was very, very interesting. Thank you so much. And best of luck with all your new recipes and trials. Really wish you the best. شكرا, يعطيك العافية.